people still want to talk to people about buying their car, why it's right for you, what happens if there's a problem, where can I go with it, and all the backup that we've always done and conventionally done and always will do moving forward. Looking at 2030, how technology will look in the way we're selling cars will be different than it is now for sure. How much different, we don't know. What we do know, because we are not in control of the run out of electric and the run out of diesel and ICE engine cars to the electrification of every car. That is something beyond our control. So we're having to run with that, and the manufacturer are having to run with it, and they are really on it to try to get ahead of the game with this. But so far as our staff and our future planning for our business, we did a massive campaign. We realised that, we have to keep young blood in the business. Sure. So fortunately, I've got 3 sons. My brother's got 1 son. My brother's boy has just come back into the business at the age of 26. I have 2 boys that are in the business. My youngest one, who's 18, and my other one is at 24. He's into the business. The youngest one is very, very, very keen in the business. So I'm putting a bit of hope without too much pressure on him wanting to come into it. Sure. But on top of that, this year we've recruited 7 young apprentices that we did a really big, great campaign, a bit like the Alan Sugar campaign, to be honest with you. And it was in conjunction with the radio station, and we did a fantastic job in the recruiting of 7 apprentices that are specifically for the future to continue the legacy of our business. So and that's working out really well.
So was that a plan that you made, and you sat down with the board or strategic people in your business and thought, you know what, it would be really good to target and look at the apprenticeship sort of process? Is that what you did?
Yeah,
we set that out.
We knew we need young people in the business. We need to be on the ball. Like I said, I touched on earlier, our business is a very complicated business when you're tied up with the manufacturer. Customer satisfaction, every guy that comes in the door or every customer that comes in the door is targeted. A 9 is a fail.
Really?
A 9 to the manufacturer is a fail, and that is it. You mark me 9 when you're coming to buy your coffee, Michael, and you'll think you're doing me a favour. It's a fail. So, and we get penalised heavily on that, heavily. So we have to be at the top of our game in every respect. So to do that, we have to be on the ball. To be on the ball, when you've been in the business a long time, it's hard to stay up there all the time and be focused 100% of the time. So we know that we need to bring young people in our business. So this year we always take on a number of apprentices, which mainly start off as a vehicle technician. They mainly end up in the servicing departments and workshops and things like that. This year we said, no, what we actually needed to do is to target younger people that one day could do the job of what the directors are actually doing now. So that's what we did, and we have recruited 7 really good people.
So that succession planning is critical.
Yeah, definitely. It is. And so we're on that, and we'll just, hopefully they will all enjoy the industry, and hopefully they'll stay with us, and hopefully it will all work out.
Because the apprenticeship scheme is actually a government-backed, government-run scheme. However, it's critical that they speak to the business owners where those apprentices are going to go in order to run that, because without you, there is no apprenticeship scheme.
Yeah, and there is, and I think that it's quite frustrating that that we do spend a lot of time. We've got a great relationship with the Cornwall colleges, especially one of them, and we've been talking to them on, and they're very much there's a new guy in charge of the Cornwall College, and he's really on the ball with asking the companies what they want from the colleges.
Sure.
And one of the frustrations for me over the years was you take on an apprentice, and one of the key roles in our business is selling. It's not selling like we used to know it. No, it's actually accommodating the customer and looking after him. Do you know what? There's not a scheme that exists other than by the manufacturers, which aren't anything like they used to be, that actually there is not a scheme or a course that exists on how to become a salesman or a sales assistant or whatever you want to call it. So, and this is where I think that governments and colleges need to actually go out and ask a little bit what that
would have been unheard of 30 years ago.
Yeah, it would have been, and we, and there are children, even though everything's done by social media and texting and communicating through the phone, but there are actually kids out there that actually do want to speak to people still.
Sure.
You know, they're not learning that. They're not learning the basics of communication. And so when you say to me, taking on an apprentice and a salesman, really difficult to find a course that they can accommodate them.